Hey there, I'm DPadGamer, and I thought that for a quick video, we'd look at some of the glitches in F-Zero GX. Right out of the gate, let's start with the coolest glitch, space flying, or at least I think it's the coolest. Firstly, you'll want a light machine with good grip, so for a default machine, either the Super Piranha or Death Anchor can work. For custom machines, the Maximum Dragon made out of the Speedy Dragon body, Maximum Star Cockpit, and Sunrise 140 Booster will give you the most fly for your space. That said, make sure you set your machine to maximum acceleration. When you're coming up on a jump with decent speed, as you go into the air, hold A and either L and left on the analog stick or R and right on the analog stick to slide turn. Assuming you don't immediately crash or get sent back to the track, your machine should be slide turning in a circle and you'll actually gain height. While in the air, you could either slide turn to the left or right, just be sure to continue holding down the A button the whole time, otherwise you will start to drop. With some practice, this can be used to navigate across the track, and, like the talented racers who compete over at fzerocentral.org show in the open ladder, with a lot more practice, space flying can be used to complete some tracks in less than 30 seconds. As you might expect, a glitch that powerful had to be limited to its own category. When you're not flying across the map, if you want to get there fast, there's a variety of techniques you could use, like, as an example, snaking, which, to be clear, is not actually a glitch, but it's worth mentioning. While piloting a heavy machine with great grip, tuned to maximum acceleration, you want to alternate slide turning to the left, right, and as it happens, slide turning gives a bit of a boost, so swerving back and forth lets you go very, very fast. There is also shift boosting, which is where you gain a boost of speed from very briefly leaving the track surface, then re-entering it at certain angles. Much like snaking, this is also intended, and as it happens, even the game's staff ghost uses it on the track lateral shift. Using this trick in his run of the game's story mode, superSANIC is able to go so fast in Chapter 2 that he outruns Samurai Goro, as well as the falling boulders altogether. Oh, and while looking at ridiculous runs of F-Zero GX, you might see them driving against walls, but not actually getting slowed down. Man, are they even like trying to drive straight? For real, this is actually an example of the upslope glitch, where at certain speeds and situations, wall collision won't actually affect you, which lets you maintain your speed going straight down the track, which can be very, very handy. And on the topic of no collision, usually slamming your ship into a wall or object will drain your ship's energy, leading to the inevitable explosion that follows. Well, like in this clip, if you land on top of the structure in fire field undulation, you'll hear and see the ship colliding, but it won't actually take any damage or destroy your ship. Until you drop down, you can just sort of hang out, I guess. And now it's worth pointing out that there is actually a lot of glitches here in F-Zero GX that just sort of happen. Like you're seeing in these clips from one David J, it's possible to unintentionally clip into the divider on Lightning Loop Cross. In this case, you can see that his speed is continually climbing since the game seems to think that he's not actually on the track but instead in a nosedive. Also, sometimes you'll just happen to find yourself riding on the wall because, who knows? I mean, with a game like this where the rules of physics are played with fast and loose, I guess it's bound to happen. Oh, and while on Mute City's serial gaps, he also managed to bounce backwards and get stuck in between the road and bottom of the tunnel. And something similar happened to After Dawn because he briefly gets stuck in between the two sides of the track on Green Plant's Mobius Ring.
Of course! Retire.
Now, real quick for something a bit different, over on Phantom Road Slim Line Slits, it's possible to complete the race by driving off the track and landing right on the invisible finish line checkpoint. I don't actually have much to say here, but I just think that's really, really cool. And for something else that's useful, when going off of a jump plate, usually turning in the air will force your ship's nose down. Well, if you perform a side attack going into it, you could actually turn in the air freely, which lets you retain your height by continually matching side attacks. And as it happens, side attacks can be exploited much further than that. You see, usually there is a bit of a cooldown between each side attack, but every time you let go and press A to restart your thrusters, you can actually perform another side attack. This can be done quickly by mashing, or even quicker using a turbo controller, which is called hyperspeed side attacking, or HSA. Like TonyThai demonstrates in these clips of his, this trick can be exploited to go extremely fast and even fly through the air, skipping huge portions of some tracks. and by far my favorite use of this is to skip the entire fire field undulation by flying back and forth between checkpoints, ending in a nice cool time of 22 seconds.
Impressive.
When I gave this a go, I found that by using a macro to press the A then X buttons with 17 milliseconds in between, let me fly across the map with ease. Oh, and in this clip of Tony's from back in 2004, he cast Wingardium Levy Huzzah and flew away into the distance after being retired during the race against Samurai Goro. Because, as it happens, if you haven't exploded after being retired, you could actually continue controlling the ship. Naturally, I tried this, and I even tried to complete the race after retiring, but after a few minutes of slow going, I got stuck just a few turns away from the end. It doesn't work, but it turns out that you could actually collide with walls after retiring and explode your ship, and there's also a very crunchy noise that is made. And while it doesn't give you speed or actually heal you, there will still be visual effect when going over boost plates and those regeneration strips. Moving on, here's a weird trick glitch thing called instant air turning. According to TonyThai, this is how it can be performed. After a quick turn while airborne, release every button except the accelerator. Before the machine has a chance to reset to the forward-facing position, turn only the analog stick to the last direction you are facing. The machine should instantly spin in whatever direction you turned, and the quicker you let go of the control stick, the less it will rotate. That's what you're seeing in these clips, where it was done intentionally. It could also pop up when you're not trying, like in this clip from AKC12, where he was flying across Mute City serial gaps, and just before touching down with his ship, it just sort of turned around, cancelling all momentum. Now, as we approach the end of this quick video, let's look at something very bizarre. Firstly, if you don't know, there is a common issue that can arise in any game or program where if a counter isn't limited, then integer overflow can occur. Like, for example, in the original Pac-Man. Its level counter was tracked with 8 binary bits, which just means that it maxed out at 255. Trying to go past that to 256 instead overflows the counter back to 0, which leads to the infamous kill screen. Underflow is the same thing, but in the opposite direction, where instead of going into the negative, you will go from 0 to whatever the maximum amount is. Well, F-Zero has this issue. If you approach a landmine and touch it with a speed of 0 km per hour, which is very tricky, you will be instantly retired. If you do this with respawning allowed, you could actually see that your ship's speed underflows, and all that speed sends you across the map in less than a single frame. And as it happens, this actually causes your camera to be glitched for the rest of the race. This means that whenever you are in the air, the camera will rotate around the ship instead of staying behind you. This can be very obnoxious, but it does make space flying a bit more bearable to watch. Oh, and in time attack runs, you'll often see the racer intentionally crash the ship just before finishing, since doing so will explode you at a very high rate of speed. You could still complete the race for a short time after exploding, so this bit of speed can help you shave off that extra bit of time. Well, when AKC12 was finishing run of Lightning Thunder Road, he gained so much speed that he just sort of stopped. You know what else just sort of stopped? This video! Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.